Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Riley Harvey for BCN, and we are live with Thursday night's PRT handicap race. Just on the start line, waiting for things to get underway. We've got about a minute from the bell. We've got a few riders from, I think it's Conrad Cycling Club, starting tonight. New to the event, and we've got some of the regulars. Good to see Darren Ray back on the course. Mauro Desault, I can see Ian Hurst is out there. Jordan Twiddy, see how Jordan got on with his FTP test he was doing last week. We've got a few that are missing out. Will Deegan, and his apologies for missing tonight's race because he's had to go away on holiday to the glorious sunny climes of Gran Canaria. But yeah, we should be in for a good race tonight. We're on the Formentor course. It's one of the real roads in RGT. Fantastic roads, fantastic road in real life. It's also a good road to ride for a race. It is. Boom, and we're off. Darren Ray out front straight away. Darren there. Iman, who was one of the riders last week, up at the front of the race. I think Iman last week was disqualified. We'll have to see how their power readings go this week. They're already looking like they may be a little bit suspicious. They're at the front of the race now. Darren Ray tucked in behind them. Shepherd and Pike were up at the front end of the race last week. Then we've got Ursula a little bit further back in the race. Ian Murray making it in. New rider Frost. Jessen Desvert. Jones. And we see some riders now coming up on the outside there. Overtaking Iman. Jordan Twiddy. And Andre Fugara is Andre used to be a regular on the PRT handicap. I haven't seen him for a little while, but he's back racing today. So the auto avoidance is off due to manual steering sign coming up there. I've been told that in future we're not going to get that blasted across the course every time someone starts using the steering. Either Pike, up Iman, Jessen Hansen, Darren Ray. Coming up towards this first left-hand turn. So we're on the promenade, down by the beach. We're now a little residential area at the moment. Then we come into a shop area. As we come to the main part of the harbour, the more commercial area. And then we go on to a little bit of a paved area, which I'm fairly certain isn't accessible by bikes most of the time. But the platform has made it special access, and we can just jump on there for a moment. Hard left-hand turn, which will hit the auto braking, so it's important to be into that turn first early on. And then you are heading towards the hill section. So, oh, Mike Wareham's taking part tonight. Moonrider. Drop back. Bursay there, coming through to the front. Darren Ray, Shepherd, Fugara, Jordan Twiddy, Iman. Desault, Mauro Brasciani, Ian Murray, Pike, Jetson Hansen, Jones, Jessen, Mike Wareham, Swart, and we've got Frost, Rendell giving the wheel to Ursula there, Beerun, another regular from the handicap races there, just being passed by another Janssens. Got Slack, Rowe, big grouping of bots, but we should have some more real riders tucked in at the back here. There we go, Ian Hurst, normally further up on the course, but we expect Ian to make some good progress as he gets into the mountain section. That's Holly Larson, possibly? No, I don't think it is Holly Larson. Then with Viberg, Oberhal, Chowski, and Long looking like they've had some issues on the start line there. So heading back up at the pointy end. As I say, we're coming onto this paved area now, which normally it's not accessible to bikes. You can ride on it, but it's a pedestrianised area. We're going to come into a very hard left-right hand turn. See Jordan Twitty there with Iman right on their wheel. Shepherd not too far behind. Shepherd and Pike were battling it out last week. Seem to be separated a little bit tonight. So through this section now, off the promenade, and then we'll start to see a slight incline. Steve Mauro all there coming through to the front. It's the drafting on Iman. So expect here when we get to these hill climbs, Iman, I'm suspecting, will start to drift off at the front there. Don't think they have applied the handicapping for this race. There's a big group though. We've got a lot of riders in this front lead group. This first climb will start separating them though, that's for sure. Formentor, two main climbs. We've got the climb to the lookout, which is this climb that's coming up, and then we've got the climb to the lighthouse itself. That's punctuated by a couple of big descents and the final hairpin section. Jordan Twitty at the front of this group, we can see there Andre Fugara taking the tighter line around that corner as we're entering the base of this first climb. Andre's poised there on the left hand side of the road. Best line to be taking this first corner. Steering introduced to the RGT platform fairly recently, and it's something that become a little bit more widely adopted, but also is still causing some interest and some challenge among riders, I think would be the correct phrase. We see Janssens there going up to the front of the race. Janssens, again, I think looking at the way Janssens is climbing here and the power numbers that Janssens putting out compared to the rest of the riders, I'm thinking Janssens may also be a rider that's not adjusted their weight for the handicap. But looking like Darren Ray is our lead rider on the road. Darren just opening up small gap of 12 meters from this rampaging pack behind. But it is a big climb that we've got to attack here. I personally find this to be a better climb than the second one. It's more consistent in the gradient. Easier to undertake. You just get yourself set into a tempo and you go for it. The second climb is, in my opinion, a little bit more difficult as the gradients are consistently changing and it's very hard to find your tempo on the second section, the second climb of this course. Aaron drifting back slightly in the ring. He's putting in a big effort here, bringing himself back a couple of positions, or more than a couple. Big push here by Darren Ray, back up to third position. Possible here that Darren is the leader on the road. We'll have to go to race control after the event to check on the handicapping of the other riders. So for those who aren't aware and haven't watched the event before or taken part, it's a handicapped event, which means that theoretically the maximum or the average power for the riders should work out at 3.2 watts per kilogram. And the way that this is achieved is the FTP, a recent FTP from the riders, is divided by 3.2, and that gives the rider their weight for in-game. And it means that the more elite riders are handicapped because they carry more weight, and those riders who perhaps don't get the chance to compete as frequently to see a rider there just dropping out. Not sure who that was. Possibly Andrew. Yeah, it looks like it's Andre Fugara has just dropped out there. Yeah, sorry. So that means that the riders who are less frequently competing, they have lower FTPs, so they will have lower weights and they'll get a benefit on the climbs. That means that all riders get a good workout together. Lots of different abilities can battle for the win. Pike now coming up with Jones. Shepherd, his companion for much of the race last week, only one place behind. So about halfway through this first climb. See Jones there veering across the other side of the road to take this corner. The shortest possible line. We were watching some riders a couple of weeks ago go around hairpins, and it did make about 6 meters worth of difference just taking that inside line as opposed to the outside line around the corner. Pike there veering over to the left. Muzz, Ian Murray there as we're coming up to the left hand bend. Jones drifting a little more gently across the road there. Pike into the draft. Pike they're actually not saving anything by being so close. He's Shepherd there flying up now. Shepherd getting in with this lead group. Pike slowing slightly. Jones. She's on at the front of this race. Still quite a big group. Lead group of 3 here. We've got Jones, Murray, Pike. Just slightly gapped to Shepherd. Shepherd putting in an effort there to catch back up. We've Janssens, who's just a little bit out in front. 150, 225 meters on the riders there. Looking at the power bars underneath Janssen's name there, I think that's showing that Janssen's not adjusted his weight. I'm way off in front. Janssens, I think, is working out around about 61 kilos. Could well be that they've got a lower FTP and they have adjusted their weight based upon that. But if they're running with that lower FTP, I think they They need to do a fresh FTP test for Janssens there. We're back now with Shepherd, who I believe would be the first rider on the road, the real leader of this race. They've got Jones in their wheel. Jones weaving across the road. Shepherd using the look behind feature there. Pike just on the wheel of Jones, and then we've got Muzz not too far behind those. This is our lead four, which is coming up to the crest of this climb. Be interesting to see how they attack the top of this climb. You really want to be on the wheel of the rider in front of you as you're going over the top here. It's really important to keep in the draft. You don't want to have that gap open up. We see Shepherd there pushing hard, going up the climb. Jones not able to quite stay with them, and Pike's going through as well now. I believe that Shepherd and Pike ride for the same cycling club, so they may well be in comms separately, working together to get the win for their club. Shepherd pushing hard as he comes up to the crest here, up to the lookout point, finishes the segment, still pushes hard as we go into the descent, and just eases slightly as the gradient numbers turn downwards. Now Shepherd still actually putting in quite a big effort here, just getting his wheels underway up to 50 kilometers per hour, and a big gap opened up already to the riders chasing. 80 meters. Shepherd just being auto braked going into these hairpins. For future reference, Shepherd and Pike new to the platform. You get auto braked going into the corners. You need to jump on the power briefly as you come out of those auto brake corners to get your speed back up again, and then gravity will do the work once more. Not too much need for pedaling it in between. Just keep those legs rolling. See the group there behind descending faster, that group dynamic. And Muzz there putting some real power in, trying to close this gap down to Shepherd. Our numbers going red. I'm going to catch him before we come off this descent. Muzz cut, goes past Shepherd into the corner. Crosses onto the tighter side of the road there. As I say, steering recently introduced into RGT. There's a number of different ways of using steering. You can use keyboard shortcuts A and D to steer. You can use your phone with the accelerometer in the phone to tilt the phone, and that will give you steering as well. Wahoo have created their own steering device, the Wahoo Steer, which mounts basically the element mount on the front of the bike and allows you to do that rocking motion to activate the steering. A number of riders have created buttons with either Arduino or auto hotkey shortcuts to operate the A and D buttons on the keyboard. You can use the touchscreen on your phone as well, or a tablet, any device using the Wahoo RGT remote, and the Wahoo Kicker bike buttons work to operate the steering as well. Number of different options. I believe that the Stages bike operates using the same type button arrangement as well, but that's via Stages Play. It's not officially integrated into the Stages bike firmware as yet, but you can get it to work. Say steering, it is loosely steering. It's selecting the lanes across the road, but it is does shorten the line as you're going around these corners. And it's Jones there, puts in a big effort after that corner, flies off. Takes Pike and Shepherd there by surprise, Jones, and Opens up a small gap as we go through the halfway banner. Shepherd now putting in 10.9 watts per kilogram, trying to keep hold of Jones. Still a long way from the finish of this race. We're just coming past the Formentor beach turnoff there. And now we're on this gradual drag back up. So this is the start of the second climb. As I said earlier on, this second climb, much more difficult than the first one. It is much more changeable, much more variable. Heart rate there, 174. We're going to just drift back a little bit. We see Darren Ray has been dropped out of this lead group. He's been caught by Jessen Hansen, Jessen and Bursay there. Just see that group in the distance. They're only 115 meters away, but it's unlikely this group is going to capture those. Yeah, battling for some of the lower places there. As we see Frost making into this group. Say there, as the gradient's just going up, it's slowing slightly. Weaving across the road. Svert in a little bit of no man's land, 75 meters away from those riders in front, and 125 in front of Ursula. Ursula there, plugging away with Maro Brashani behind and Mike Wareham. Now with Jordan Twiddy. He's being followed by Ian Hurst. And there's Andrei Fugara. I think Andre had a dropout earlier on, so Andre's battling back from a big deficit here in 18th position. Actually see there, if you look in Andre's power readings up in the top left hand corner, you can see somehow something's going wrong there. He's had a couple of moments of power outages and then big spikes, so I don't know if he's suffering from some interference, some amp plus interference perhaps, or maybe he had to jump off the bike briefly. Andre against the wheel of Ian Hurst there. We have Rowe, 19th position, 3 in the way. There's Rendell. Black. Larson. Just finishing that descent, just starting the second climb. Beer run. Beer run not been present in some of the more recent PRT handicap races, so I don't know whether they're a little bit down on fitness at the moment. Head back up to the front of the race. See Eamon here. Eamon out in the lead. Already disqualified Eamon, but they are going to win this race quite comfortably. Jansen's another rider who I believe will be disqualified at the end of the race. Jones, Pike, Murray and Shepherd. Leave Jones here to be the first rider on the road. Jones leading that little trio through. We've got Muzz here out on the side of the road, and I'm pretty sure Muzz was using steering earlier on, so I'm not sure why he's decided to drop out of the draft and plough his own furrow here. You can see Jones in the lead there. We've got Pike just behind Jones, and Pike saving 41 watts by being in the draft there, so it's a big difference that Muzz is having to make up on his own. He's having to make up, he's having to hit sort of 230 watts when he could just be hitting, sorry, he's having to hit 270 watts when he could just be hitting 230-ish. See Jones there putting a little bit of effort in, disrupting the pace. Shepherd having to catch back up, and Muzz now having to put 4.2, 3.3 watt per kilogram effort in there to try and keep up. He has moved over to the draft, into the draft though. Don't know whether Muzz is listening to the stream. Jones, Pike, Shepherd. Winner's going to come out of this little group. Jessen there making a big effort to bridge across here. Jessen come from the group of Hansen and Frost. That group appears to have disintegrated, and Jessen's making his way across solo to this lead group. There's a big push. Heart rate 165. It's quite a reasonable heart rate for the effort he's putting in here. Cadence 88. Good spin on this climb. See that lead group there is fragmenting slightly. Shepherd and Piker pulling away at the front. Jones trying to get back to them, as is Murray on this little incline. But we're going into a short descent in a moment before the climb starts main. Jessen there making a big effort to get across. He's going to see the gap open up in front of him briefly. Then you get into this descent first. And once we're back onto the climb, we should see that concertina effect, and Jessen should pull back some space on Jones, Murray, Shepherd and Pike. See the gap squash back up now. Only 20 meters to Jones, and Jessen's putting a big effort in here. As you can see, he's catching Jones. Murray, Shepherd and Pike just gradually pulling away. Jessen drifts over to the left hand side of the road. Jones follows in that corner, saving those important meters. We're with Shepherd and Pike there, battling away, looking like Shepherd and Pike just gradually eking a small gap open up on Murray there. Jessen just coming past Jones as we move the camera away there, but we can just see a small gap opening up now between Murray and Shepherd and Pike. once again, Shepard and Pike locked together as they were in last week's race. Just going to drift back briefly, give some of the other riders in the event a little bit of airtime as Jones and Jessen there battling. Hansen too far off in sight of those riders. Frost, another rider just inside of Hansen there. Swert. It's there with Mauro Racciani and Ursula. Just on a meaty section of this second climb. Ursula weaving across the road there, looking to find the draft of the Swert's wheel there. Now we see Andrew Fagada there. He's moved up from 18th position where he was previously into 13th now. And looking to hunt down the wheels of Desault. And Ursula there is coming up fast on Desault. Going to go past Desault through and looking like he's going to go past Ursula and Desfert here at the pace he's going. Climbing well, Andre. Ian Hurst on his favourite Buffalo bike there. Oh, that's Barry. I think we're too far away from the tunnel now. And Ian's coming up on the wheel of Desault there as well. A little bit of steering from Ian there. Tries to move himself into the draft. We are there into the tunnel. Forgive my poor camera work. Very dangerous tunnel. If you've ever been to Formentor, going from bright sunshine to this very dimly lit tunnel. Not too bad on the way up. But on the way down, when you're going at a pace, taking your sunglasses off your head, trying to get your eyes accustomed to the tunnel, it can be a little bit disorientating, to say the least. It's always worth just taking a couple of marker lights with you if you're going through that tunnel. There are quite a few cars that go up and down this road, and they got quite a pace at times. Ian Hurst there has passed his alt. Keeps on pedaling just steadily towards the summit finish of this race at the lighthouse. Darren Ray into the tunnel. Mike Wareham. rACE. Jordan Twitty. A little bit of change here in the orders at the back. So we've got Slack, Rowe, Larson, and then Rendell. So once again, we jump up to the front of the race. We see Eamon. He is flying away at the front of this race. And with Janssens And with Murray back with Pike and Shepherd here. Pike and Shepherd had opened up a little gap on Murray. But Murray obviously didn't stop trying. He's back on the wheel of Pike here, saving 11, 12 watts. Pike's weaving across the road. Going to the left, get the tightest apex on this corner they can, and Muzz coming up now. View goes over to the left hand side of the road. Like 5 meters behind. Big burst of effort there to get back to the wheel of Murray. See there, Pike and Shepherd just taking that inside lane. It doesn't look like much of a difference, but it does equate to a few meters every time you do that. Some riders really taking to the new steering options, and it does allow for a lot of, as I say, it's not quite steering, but it allows for a lot more dynamic racing. You can shake a rider off your wheel before you put the hammer down. You can come up the outside of a pack from the right side and shoot past somebody without getting them instantly into your draft. It's does allow different dynamics. As we see there, Pike opens up a little bit, Shepherd chasing on, and Murray left solo once again. Another of the segments there, and Pike and Shepherd very quickly managed to open up a gap on Murray there on this flatter descending section. It's one of my favourite sections of the course in real life as you're heading towards this barrier and looking out straight to the sea, thinking it wouldn't take very much to fly over that barrier. It's only a piece of 6-inch wood. Does sharpen your senses somewhat. The gap now to Pike and Shepherd out to 100 meters. They're still visible. And still a target for Muzz here. We drift back slightly. We've got Jones here in 6th position on the road. He had been caught by Jessen, but Jessen seems to have been distanced quite considerably there, as Jessen is now back 7th position with 113 meters. Jones suggesting had done such a big job to bridge across. Jones perhaps just managed to open a gap up before that descent. Kept the pressure on, managing to open that distance up against Jessen there. Anyway, Andre Figaro's done fantastically to get himself back into 8th position. After having had, I believe, a dropout briefly. Back in 8th. And pedaling hard. Got 160 meters or so to Jessen, the next ride on the road. We are live in the chat. If anyone wants to send a message through to the studio, we're on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, any of those platforms. If you send a message through in the chat, we'll get it through in the headquarters. See Hansen now. It's being distanced by Fugata now. Fugata out 147 meters into the distance. Now we'll just drop back and check in with Desvert, Frost. These two riders just taking it easy here. Working together on this slight descent. Hansen not too far in the distance. And they'll reel Hansen back in before too long. Frost there saving 90 watts on the wheelless foot. See there, Spurt just powering through this short climb. That's Fugata in the distance, just cresting. But you know, we're having to sit down for a moment there to get to the top, and they're over. The Eamon and Janssens finished. Shepherd and Pike battling up these hairpins with Murray breathing down the neck. 250 meters to go. Shepherd, Pike. Which one of these riders will make it to the finish first? See Shepherd coming around that hairpin. Pike ignoring the turn on that hairpin. He's stayed out wide. Will Shepherd cut across to the shorter line? This red lining it. Shepherd's not bothering with the steering, just going all in with the power. Last minute turn to the left there. Sticks it into the left hand side. Tighter line into this final corner. 50 meters to go. 25. Shepherd comes over in 3rd position, but we're considering that first on the road. Pike through in 2nd. And Murray now very hard fought 3rd position. Just cruising it around comfortably in front of Jones. Jones through in front. Jessen now. Larry Fugata, the nearest rider, 114 meters back. Jessen's going to be coming over in 5th position on the road. Fugata 8th with Frost. Hansen on the wheel. But it's Fugata over in 8th position. Then Frost, closely followed by Hansen and Desvert, not too far beyond at all. Then with Ian Hurst, 12th position, coming up on that coffee stop. Ursula just in sight there. Has she got enough in the tank to overtake Ian Hurst in this last 75 meters? Ian coming wide on that corner. A little bit of energy for that finish line there. Hurst comes over the line, then Ursula. And then we drift back to Desault here. Desault being followed closely by Jordan Twitty and Mike Wareham. Mike Wareham and Jordan Twitty having a little bit of a battle there. Desault's going to be over the line shortly. You're getting a chat coming through on the screen there. Desault's over the line, and then we see Mike Wareham just managed to distance Jordan Twitty there in those last few meters. Jordan Twitty coming over. Good battle. Darren Ray out on the front earlier on in the race, but not able to hold the power consistently all the way through. Darren coming through in 17th position, but 15th on the road. Versas in 18th. Got come through in the chat. We've got Daniel Childs, Toefield, CCC for the win. I think that's Cranford Cycling Club, which is Shepherd, Pike, and Ursula, I think. Says comes through. Then we've got Rowe being chased by Slack here. And then Larson not too far off either. Got a little run in here for Rowe, Slack and Larson, so anything could happen between these riders. Rowe into the descent. Keeps the power on. 1 kilometer marker. Slack and Larson still there. Rowe followed by Slack. Slack's closing slightly here. Larson just been distanced at a point there. Didn't get the descent right. Has been distanced there by Slack as Rowe comes around and into the start of the hairpins here. Classic hairpins for the finish of Formentor. Lasse. Larson pushing hard, not able to close the gap on Rowe. Possibly Larson going slightly backwards here. We've got Rowe holding a gap of 30 meters. Larson now digging really deep. I think it's a little bit too late here. Gonna take it to the line. Larson got the tighter line going through his corner. That's all it needed was... Oh, that was so close there. Rowe just managing to hold Larson off. Larson had a tighter line through that corner, and it was nearly all that was needed for Larson to win that position. So close as Slack comes around and finishes the race in 19th position. Rendell. 200 meters left to go for Rendell here. That wide outside line. Up at nearly 10% there as Rendell comes through. And finishes up in a time of 55 minutes and 13 seconds. I'm going to drift back now and just check who else is left on the course. We've got Viberg here. Viberg with 1.37 kilometers left to go. Viberg, I think it might be Weisberg. German is about 25 years to date. Yeah, I think that might be Weisberg there. We'll go with that. Going through 1K marker. Just gonna check if there's any other real riders. Oh, Carbohal. They've got 5.8 kilometers remaining. And they're the last real rider on the road. Long, unfortunately, appeared had some technical difficulties at the beginning. Couldn't get started. Just checking with Carvajal. We'll jump forward to Viberg in a moment and watch Viberg finish, and then we'll bring the stream to a close. Viberg just being challenged by some bots there as we're into the final sections of hairpins. From 50 meters to go. Not somewhere I'd like to be caught out on a fixie this course. Iceberg comes around. Anybody who hasn't been to the island of Mallorca and actually done the Formentor climb in real life, it is one that I wholeheartedly recommend. I could quite happily do it every single day. It's a beautiful climb and offers lots of points for stops, for sightseeing, for coffee breaks. The island as a whole is really well set up for cyclists, and also there's plenty for the rest of the family to do over there. If you're not a full cycling family, there's lots of nice beaches, areas to go to, cafes, bars and restaurants. As Weisberg comes over the line at a time of 58 minutes and 18 seconds. So just drift back and check in once again with Carvajal. See, they've still got 5.5k to go. I'm going to bring the stream to an end here. Hope you've enjoyed watching your friends or teammates race tonight. Not listening to me, it's not been too painful on your ears. You can always mute me, of course. And that's it for this week. We will be back next week Thursday, 7 p.m, same time for the PRT handicap race. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we will catch you next time. Enjoy yourselves.